What about Code? They take us through Code Red because I feel like that was a real another moment in your life where uh, I think Raymana had gone out super early and got pounded like really bad, like, and then sort of it seemed like it. And tell me if I'm getting the story wrong, but like sort of they shut it down for a little bit.
Yeah,
People weren't
yeah.
going out. They're like Raymana said, no, it's too dangerous, and shut it down. And then from what I remember seeing is there was it I think did you and Dylan were the first guys to go back out and then
We
start going again?
yeah, we were, but we had no idea because we basically were having troubles with the authorities with the jet skis who wouldn't let any of the Billabong skis out. So we had to go and tape up all the skis with black tape, and um, so by the time we got out there, it was 9 o'clock, and crew had already been towing, and you're looking from the channel from a distance, going, holy, like just tripping out. We were actually the first boat to go out early in the morning and have a look at what the waves were doing. And early, we were sitting there having a coffee on the jetty, and a boat's come past. He must have snuck through because it was the boat ramp was shut down by the authorities or something because the swell was so big. And yeah, this boat come and picked us up, and we went out and had a look. And the first thing I seen was a bodyboarder paddling into this, stupidest big wave, and he just was like a frog in a back, like just airdropped like that wave of Dan Ryan's you've seen
Yeah,
get around recently, and it's been going around you see it all the time. But he just was in the middle of the barrel, just no chance at all. And that was my first proper look. And we fanged back in and got all the jet skis and taped them up. And by that stage, it was 9:30, I think. And yeah, we had no idea that Ray Marner and the local crew had said don't tow right now because it's too dangerous. And we didn't, early in the morning, I guess it was lower tide or something, and everyone was going and just getting hammered by the West Bowl, and a couple of injuries had already happened, and it was ridiculously huge. Like I'd been there for big tow swells, and generally on the big tow swells there'll be one or two moments of just giant wave, like the wave of the day. And this day just had that feel like every wave coming in was the wave of the day. It just was, the ocean was so thick and just moving, and like an ocean I'd never really experienced. It was just insane how much power was getting around. And
yeah,
I don't know, we got out there at 9:30, not a soul in the lineup, and I see one peel through and do its thing, and I'm like, whoa, it's pumping. What's going on? Why is no one out here? Like, didn't ask any questions, and was like, dude, let's go. Like, and he's like, yeah, let's go. Do you want to go first? And I was like, oh yeah, or do you want to go? He's like, oh, you go first if you want. So yeah, it just happens that way. And I grabbed the rope, and straight away my first two waves were nice waves. And
yeah.
I didn't get hammered or anything. I didn't know crew were getting hammered, so I guess the tide was just starting to come right a bit more. And my first two waves were perfectly rideable waves, and from
Yeah,
then on it just turned on.
yeah, it's funny because I remember when you look at the footage, it showed everyone was eating shit, and then you guys just went out and and obviously, wave selection's key in swells like that, and having a good
For
driver,
sure.
and obviously you guys had spent so much time there and you knew what you're looking at, but both you guys, were driving each other into really good waves, good wave selection.
Yeah.
It seemed like, they weren't maybe the mutant ones that were
No.
maybe
Yeah.
unmakeable, and they weren't the ones that, but they were just those nice giant
Yeah.
ones, but like
Yeah.
just perfect
No.
tapering off ones, and it was like, and I feel like probably everyone's like, these guys are making it look easy. And that's when everyone's like, okay, we're out there, because these guys
Yeah.
are making waves, and
Yeah.
but from that moment on, it seemed game on.
For sure. And that's the whole thing with the big waves. When you're doing it all the time, you don't want to you don't want to go out and just go hell for leather and catch every single wave, and you end up getting hurt. And that's a huge part of my because I've had a heap of injuries from surfing. I don't know many people who haven't been injured surfing big waves, but I've had my fair share. And I really try and, especially places like that where there's so much risk involved, you really do want to be a little selective and not just go any wave and whatever. So yeah, like you just said, we spent a fair bit of time there, and put our hours in to get to know the wave, and especially towing. I'd towed it a fair few times before that day, and I guess you just, you try and get as in tune as you possibly can with places like that. And that day it was all just going our way. Some days you're in tune and it just doesn't go your way as well. So it's just the ocean. It's forever moving and you never know what's going to happen, but you definitely try your best to, every big wave surfer who's doing it day in, day out, definitely they're trying to pick their moments of, to come home safe and whatnot. So you're going for it, but you also,
I feel like
be a little selective or else you're going to.
Yeah. I feel like if you're not respecting the spot and the water too, like you're not respecting, if you think 100%. You're going to go out to Teahupo'o and just whip in any wave you can, like, and get away with it, like you may get away with it that session, but if you keep taking that mindset to wherever you're going, like sooner or later, Mother Nature's going to just give you a big beat down and go, hey, you gotta slow yourself down here and have a bit more respect, because it just can't keep like that.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly what actually kind of happened to me a few years later. When I'd lost my sponsor and hadn't traveled for 2 years. I hadn't been on a plane for 2 years. I just surfed at home and ended up getting a job and working on a job site, on a building site for the year I got dropped. We had our first kid, Isla, and so we had a house mortgage and whatnot. So I had to, straight away get a job basically. And I was straight into the building industry and making, not the best money, but, got to keep the money coming in. So I didn't surf or go anywhere, for 2 years. And then that Point Break crew hit me up to be a stunt double for that movie they made. And, I was just like, you're kidding. Yeah, I'll do that. Like get paid to go back to Tahiti for a few weeks and whatnot. And just so happened, we're just going there to do all their underwater shots and just weird, all that sort of stuff. And randomly that swell popped up and I was just so unbelievably excited. I was just, jumping out of my skin nearly. And exactly what you just said is you got to respect the place and just take it easy. And so long story short, that swell come in and basically me and Dill got told, you guys have right away for this movie. Like you guys can kind of get any set you want. And I was, had Raymana and all these crew, like blocking it for us in some way. Like, and I was just like, you're kidding. We can, we could have, and it was pumping, like it was big and pumping.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just a bull out of the gates, just like first 2 waves, tried to get as deep as I could on my first one, just didn't make that one. Second one made an okay one. Third wave, and I had Laird bloody towing me, like of all people. So like I got the best guy out there towing me into any wave I nearly kind of want,
Yeah.
Third wave, just warming up, but they're obviously filming and everything because the whole idea was for me and Dill to do the doubles, which Bruce ended up doing with Dill because I hurt myself. But anyway, this third wave comes in. I've been, caught 2 waves, 20 minutes. Here comes a wave, and it was a bigger swell, and Laird's like, do you want to go it? And I'm like, yeah, go. And he's like, it's pretty west. And I was looking at it going, I can tell this is west as this one. You can tell a west one out there when you're towing. You can just see it. All the energy's going down to where the boats are. It's not hitting up the top of the reef. So it's quite easy to tell. And me being me, just hungry as anything, I went that wave off my own back, completely knowing that it was a west wave. And sure enough, I hit my head and off to hospital and nearly almost killed myself. Nearly. I was really lucky to be all good because I had the actual head, I got knocked out and sort of come to in the lagoon as Laird was coming to me. So I didn't get knocked out for long enough where I was going to drown or anything. I just got dazed and knocked out. But the scariest thing was I had something stabbed me through my neck and come out my mouth and just missed my carotid artery. And I didn't, to me, it didn't, I was after it, I come to and I'm in the ambulance, like in a brace and stuff because I had tingly neck and all that sort of stuff. So I must have hit my head pretty hard, but not knowing that. And it wasn't until the next day the doctor goes, you know how lucky you are? Like he goes, you basically scraped your carotid artery. And I was just like, you don't know that at the time and whatever, but that's exactly what you just said. I was just rushed into it, and that's what happens.
Yeah, isn't that a great wake up call? Yeah, you can
100%.
like I say it. It's happened to everyone. I mean, it's happened to me. It's like you go from hero to zero so fast. You're the man one day, and you know, especially on say like 2-day swells. You know, like those swells, like Mavericks or Jaws, and it's an incoming swell. It's getting bigger and bigger all afternoon. You go out, you're sending it. You're the man. You go home like man, and then you go out the next day and just eat bad and just hurt yourself on the rock, snap your board, tail between your legs, and it's awesome. It's beautiful because you need it. You know, like that. You know, like let's be honest. I say it all the time. It's like fucking big wave surfers have massive egos. It's just like a massive ego-a-thon that who can, you know what I mean? Like, and you know, when I say egos, I'm talking in the water. It's that competitive.
For sure.
It's that competitive, like. Okay, like I'm feeling
you
good
want
today.
You want the best wave.
Yeah, I'm going to go out and try and get the biggest or best wave, you know. But but for you, like, and that's what I'm going through now a little bit too. Is like it's not your main, when surfing's not your main breadwinner, when it's not paying you, and you've got the family at home, and you've got a job, and you go and hurt yourself. That's when you're like, Jesus, like what am I doing? Number one, I nearly died, and I got my kid or kids. Yeah. Number two, now I'm out of work. Like, how am I going to pay the mortgage? But you love it, and it's who you are, and it's what you want to do, and you've got that chip on your shoulder because you're not getting sponsored anymore, and you know you're still probably in that back part of your brain, like it's maybe just one wave, and I'll get back on the program, you know, and it's the devil on the, you know, on the
for sure, exactly what you're saying.
The devil on this side and the angel on this side. Yeah, don't go, go, you know, and
it's one thing people don't realize is the battle you're having inside your head. Everyone thinks, you know, like there's that big wave surfer, he does, you know, but like you just said, every one of us, I think, has that battle inside your head of the good and bad, and like the, you know, second guessing yourself, and you know. So
well, tell me who's gonna, like, you're at Teahupo'o, it's perfect, pumping waves, Raymana's blocking, Laird Hamilton's towing you, and he says, hey, you want this one? Like who's like it's gonna be a really strong-minded, strong-willed person to go, nah, you know what, I'm good on this one. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure. He was actually pretty like he called, like he's such a nice dude, that dude. He come and visited me, and after the hot, and feeling a little bit bad because he towed me in, but it's like that was the thing. It was completely my decision. And I guess, you know, like there is all the ego and stuff, but I guess I have been a pretty mellow the way I look at it all, and I actually purely get stoked when I see someone get a crazy wave, because it's just like, wow, you've just done that's your moment kind of thing, and I got to witness that in some way, like and but then there is obviously the competitive, when you go home getting nothing and everyone else has got waves, you kind of like, I wish I got one kind of thing. But Laird, that whole decision was like, I think my you know, I feel like before that I wouldn't have went that way. It's just because I had 2 years of nothing, of, you know, surfing fun waves here, I guess, like 4 foot, 6 foot waves, and then bang, there's a Teahupo'o swell, and I potentially have right away to catch or whatever. I was just that was definitely all on me.